This is what you're here for, isn't it? To find out what Steve really thinks about this England team. I've been really on the fence with Gareth Southgate. I think it's fair to say maybe it's time I let my true emotions hang out a little bit more. Okay. So England, if you're basing it off results, are, in regards to major tournaments at least, currently on their best ever form. I think it's fair to say. Semi-finalists in the last World Cup and finalists in the last Euros. In regards to proper form, however, England go into this World Cup in absolutely shocking form. Failed to beat any of their recent Nation League opponents, which were the mighty Hungary. Italy, who are you going, hang on, Italy are Euro 2020 winners. How are they a poor team? Well, Italy didn't qualify for the World Cup, and Italy have been gash of late. Germany. Actually, haven't won a competitive match since they beat San Marino in November 2021. Okay. Come on, England. So they go into the World Cup for the first time in a long time with genuine expectations, and I have no idea where they come from. Perhaps because England have the most expensive squad, and I know this is semi-irrelevant, which is why I sort of say I suppose. It's semi-irrelevant in when it comes to international football because none of these players were bought, but they have, on paper at least, the most expensive squad by some way of France, who are the second, and those are the only two squads actually ranked over £1 billion in terms of the squad values. France being 1.1, England's being 1.4, which is ludicrous to me, but it is what it is. They have a very expensive, at least on paper, squad, and they've got good players in midfield and attack, I think it's fair to say. And despite having a bit of a shaky defence, a strong midfield and attack combined with progress in the latter tournaments, despite the fact that they didn't really beat anybody. And Germany, when they beat them, were actually ranked 16th. Has left a lot of people saying that England should be doing well. The big question for England is that how the manager prepares the sides, especially in the big games. England did well in the last two tournaments, but when they faced Croatia and Italy, the two top sides that they played against, they crumbled. They beat Germany, and you got to give England and Southgate some credit with that because it was a good performance, but Germany were literally ranked 16th. When you look at and people will say, well, why is this important? Well, the top 15, Gareth Southgate's only got a 25% win rate against the top 15. Now, if you extrapolate that and literally give him wins against another four teams, that would give you a league form, if you like. You've got the top 15 and then your relegation fodder plus yourselves, 20 teams. So if you could extrapolate, if you had a 25% win rate against the top 15 in your league, and we just give you the wins just on the off chance against everybody below that, it leaves you somewhere between 11th and 14th. And for me, that's probably where England are going to line up with Gareth Southgate. The fact that they got to a semi-final and a final should suggest that they're in the top 2 or top 4 teams in the world, but they're not. By a long stretch, and this manager certainly isn't. Losing to Italy, drawing with Germany just a few weeks back in the Nations League, this is supposedly some sort of improvement. This is a guy that's been here a long time, has definitely got the favourites, definitely got his feet under the table, certainly has got the support of the FA and the nation. Why have we not seen any sort of progression in the style of play? It tells me when England face Brazil, France, or Argentina, or a team of that ilk in Qatar, they're going to get twatted. Should we look at the key players? Harry Kane is probably England's biggest player. Without a doubt, the most important one to England, because if he can score goals, they can progress through stuff. And he does generally score goals. He's 3 goals away from becoming England's top scorer of all time. He has led the line for England now during the last 2 successful campaigns. Was Golden Boot in Russia in 2018, albeit in circumstances, shall we say. There is no doubt that Kane will lead the line in Qatar, and there is no doubt that he will score goals. He is a number 9 that is capable and often does play in a false 9 role, drops back to get the ball on his feet, and he's actually capable of playmaking when he gets in there as well. In all competitions this season, Kane's on 11 goals and 3 assists in 19 matches, which is very good. He is a good striker, and he does deliver a lot of goals. So you've got to respect that. This holiday season, I'll be giving thanks to our friends over at Manscaped and the return of football's biggest stage. My pride for my Dong squad and my country have never been stronger since Manscaped upgraded my grooming game with the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Avoid a Marwan Fellaini bush in your midfield and clean up your midsection with Manscaped. And join over 7 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer by going to manscaped.com. Use code Howson20 and getting free shipping and 20% off. Get amongst it. The next player in England's squad is a bit more of a fresher sort of addition to the squad, and that's Jude Bellingham. He could be a serious player for England this winter. I think he is a superstar in waiting. He's young, he's exciting, he's bloody good. Best position, number 8, sort of a right-hand side of a 3. Someone that does it all, bit of an all-rounder, a bit of a jack of all trades. Very good with the ball at his feet, very good defensively. Excellent technical ability, especially on the half turn. Moves the ball forward to creative players very quickly. 5.58 progressive passes per 90, puts him in the elite sort of category. Gets the break-up play, 3.08 tackles per 90 in Bundesliga this season, puts him in the elite category. And he is a leader. Youngest ever Champions League captain to score a goal. Just everything about this kid just exudes another one. You know, a young Brian Robson, if you will. So very, very high hopes for what could happen with Jude Bellingham. Would love to see him in a United shirt. Not sure we'll ever get to see that, but he'll definitely be one that is one to watch. And then finally, I think Marcus Rashford. And you know, I have one of Marcus's England shirts right there. I don't think he'll be wearing the 9. You know, you can't see it from here, but I don't think he'll be, just for those. I don't think he'll be wearing the 9, to be honest, too much. I think that's very much Harry Kane's wheelhouse at the moment. But I think he'll be a very important player. He's on the up again. He looks sharp. He looks like he's got a bit between his teeth. And after the shocking season he had last year, it's very warming to see him doing so well. And he seemingly added things to his game, especially with his aerial threat that he's shown in the last few weeks. And he offers a hell of a lot out wide. The blistering pace in behind, the ability to press, the ability and confidence to go around someone and beat them, being so direct, bring energy to a team, an England team at least, that I believe lacks that sort of energy. With England likely to play a 3 at the back and Harry Kane dropping in between the lines to play make a little bit, you're going to need somebody that runs on beyond. And I think that's where Marcus Rashford could create a very Son and Kane style partnership with Harry Kane. He offers something entirely different to Saka. Sterling isn't quite as direct, he's a lot more lateral. And against teams where England will not have the ball, Marcus Rashford will be an absolute asset from that area, whether that's wide or alongside Harry Kane in what would look more like a traditional partnership. He's got experience at major tournaments, and he looks in good physical condition, which isn't something they've been able to say for the last couple of years. In terms of the strengths, I think one of the annoyances with Gareth Southgate is that England have a lot of very interesting strengths, and they've got a lot of very good technical players, and certainly a lot of technical players in attack. When it comes to variety that they've got in attack, Saka, Kane, Sterling, Rashford, Foden, Maddison, all players capable of unlocking anybody. And even with the likes of Kieran Trippier, and to be honest, even Trent, although I don't think Trent will play, you've got people that can deliver a ball into areas where you can get something. And even if you need something different, I think Callum Wilson offers something that a lot of nations might not have seen, something very rugged and direct. And England could go on and score a lot of goals if Gareth Southgate takes the fucking handbrake off this season. In midfield, for the first time in the longest time, they've got players that you could stack up and hold to anybody else in the world. And You know, Rice as the anchor with Bellingham accompanying him is bloody good. It's got European experience. And then options that you've got in the 10. Mount, hell of a player. Foden, hell of a player. Grealish and Maddison. You've got a lot of options to create a very, very strong midfield. But when it comes to weaknesses, the two big ones for me. I think England lack a winning mentality, kind of epitomised by Harry Kane. But I think as a team, they sort of lack a ruthlessness and winning mentality. And it's mad because you've got a lot of people in this team who've got a lot of medals between them. But it feels like this team they feel very Spursy. And maybe that's a Harry Kane thing or whatever, but they do feel very Spursy. Very good technical team, lots of ability, dangerous on their day, not going to win fuck all. The City lads obviously have won a lot, and they've also lost a lot of big games, particularly when it comes to knockout competitions, and especially on the European international stage. And the second biggest weakness is at centre-half. Maguire is out of form, to be polite. Dyer is shit. I actually don't know what he does. And Stones has found consistency playing right back where he won't be played. And it's probably them three that are starting together. Tomori and Smalling have both been playing well in Italy, but none of the fucking journalists who cover this country bother to watch Italian football, so they wouldn't know that. And I think because England's centre-backs aren't great, it forces Gareth to pick more of them than you would want to. And the five at the back approach is negative, just no two ways around it. It is negative, and the way he plays it is negative. And this England side is a side littered with talent that's playing at club level and going for it. And then they get to international stage where they're asked to try and play to a system, and that system is a overtly defence-first system, and I don't think it suits them. This is an England side that, if you let the handbrake off, could capture the imagination. Now, Gareth Southgate steadied the ship in his first World Cup. Didn't really impress, but got further than we all thought they would because of the ease that the draw ended up being. Lost to the first half-decent team that they got, and probably should have even won that game. Same thing happened in the Euros. They're not set up to take the game to someone, but they're littered with the talent to do so. And that, for me, is where Gareth Southgate has failed the country. Because if Gareth Southgate had played this team to its strength, I think the England fans would have massively backed this team, because it is an exciting team that isn't just scoring goals in England, it's scoring goals in the Champions League. It's creating goals against the best defenders in the world. But they won't do that. And that's why England will not succeed again at another major tournament with perhaps the best technical side that they have ever taken to an international competition. Am I right or am I wrong? Let me know in the comments. I'll see you in the next one. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.